Previously on Adequately Advanced Magic.
In handwriting that you recognize as Nova's, you see a short message. All is not what it appears.
Kia thinks to herself, well, that's useless.
Kia, you thumb through Nova's little booklet, and you realize that Nova has been doing tarot card readings of the various denizens of the neighborhood. For the Rodriguez family, who lives on the street, she had the Tower card. You reference the book, and you find that this represents a sudden upheaval and chaos. For Captain Harper, the sort of random underground pirate lady, she had the Five of Swords, which represents defeat, loss, and betrayal. For Rob the gardener, he had the Hanged Man, and that represents sacrifice, letting go, and surrender. Professor O'Malley, he had the Devil card, which represents temptation, addiction, and materialism.
Yeah, we're gonna adjourn, and then the next day we're gonna go talk to Captain Harper.
Welcome to Falcon's Reach, a city in which magic is technology. You're listening to Adequately Advanced Magic.
We see Nova in an apparent flashback. She's sitting in her divination room, inspecting her tarot cards. Outside, a heavy rain is falling, with occasional rumbles of thunder. After messing around with the tarot cards for a bit, Nova goes for the real stuff. She pulls out a divination magitech, and then proceeds to ask a question. Suddenly, she sees a dark vision of something otherworldly. With a look of surprise and fear on her face, she runs towards the window and looks out to the street. And then here we smash cut a massive change in weather. It's all nice and sunny, it's all happy now. We're back to present time. Last night, the three of you finished clearing out some of Nova's stuff and also cleaning up the office that you somewhat destroyed.
Oops.
It's another day on Emisteria Lane. The neighbors are all going about their business. We see Rob the gardener, who lives on the street, and he's working outside on his garden. He's a bit of an older fellow. We see Professor O'Malley, a pretty good-looking young gnome. For some reason, he's shirtless, and he's just standing out in his front yard, stretching. We also see Mr. and Mrs. Rodriguez with their child, a young dwarvish couple. They go about their daily business and head to work. Captain Harper, the former underground pirate, is nowhere to be seen. Outside of Lady Kensington's place, you see her and her daughter arguing about something. And upon closer inspection, you see Miss Pennyworth hiding behind some bushes, spying on said argument.
Now that's Miss Pennyworth, MS, period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meanwhile, you can see Catherine Doomhammer cooking up a meal from the kitchen window. It's a new day. What do you guys do?
Joe, remind me, this is a cul-de-sac, right?
Yep. The three of you, or like formerly the four of you, now the three of you, live in the cul-de-sac. And each of the neighbors live along the street that leads to said cul-de-sac.
Oh, so we're in the sack.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're like in the lollipop part.
Mm.
the bulbous end.
Yeah, the bulbous end of the sack. All right, I got you. Is that how people refer to this?
It's a technical term in urban
I'm
planning.
pretty sure.
This is bulbous end of Hysteria Street.
Well, Kia would be going through her morning rituals, a bit of meditation, some fairly intense exercise, and then another round of meditation to just focus herself and make sure that she's at one with the world.
See, so the kids are at school. Deborah is intensely cleaning the house. No, the house is already extremely clean, but she still every morning goes through and, dusts off the baseboards, hopes people notice how clean the baseboards are, like wipes off all the counters, does all the vacuuming, all that stuff throughout the whole house every morning.
Is it a weekday or a weekend?
Let's go with weekend just to give everybody time to.
That makes sense, because I was like, if it's a weekday, I would be at work. Okay.
Right.
So since it's a weekend, Vivian, now having come down from her high and able to more functionally process and think rationally, is going through the list of names and notes that Deborah took notes on when we were cleaning out the house last night.
Yep. I want to retcon, if it's the weekend, that the kids are not at school, they're at math camp. The weekend math camp that I signed them up for.
I'm assuming you guys meet up at some point.
That makes sense, because we agreed to do that. Right?
Who wants to initiate?
I think Kia's probably an early riser, so she will, having completed all her exercise and meditation, she goes out to, take a quick protein smoothie. Would there be a smoothie in Falcon's Reach?
Yep, that's canon, actually.
Okay.
There are smoothies. It was actually somehow a key plot point in one of the...
She downs her protein smoothie from Jaimo, since her husband works for a Jaimo subsidiary. And she's about to leave when her husband Kai asks her where she's going, and she just dismissively turns to him and says, "None of your business. Get back to work." Then she walks out the door without saying anything else.
Yeah. Kai has a look of... I don't know, what kind of look does he have?
Long-term depression. I don't know.
It's a living.
He shrugs apathetically.
And Kia goes to Vivian's house first.
Before Kia comes, she's feeling like she's feeling very lonely and very cold. Like her family was pretty much always just her and Charlotte ever since the divorce, with Charlotte gone, her daughter in such danger and being accused of such a thing. The house just feels more cold and lonely than it ever has before. So when she hears the knock on the door, she starts up, she gets up immediately, and she's so glad that someone is here. Whoever it is. It could literally be anyone. And she opens the door.
Vivian, good morning. How are you feeling today?
I have no idea what came over me. I think I was just in such a panic. So glad you're here. Come in. Can I offer you anything?
Oh, I'm fine. I just had my protein shake. But I just wanted to check in, see how you're doing. I can't imagine this is just a really difficult time, but I know you're such a strong woman. You're definitely going to be able to find that center, hold on, and we're going to push through this.
I'm just trying to remember everything you've taught me about my breathing. That did help so much last night, of course. Will Deborah be coming soon? I'm fairly anxious to get this investigation underway.
We should go walk over to Deb. I know she's always so organized. She'll know what to do. I think we go over to Deb's house next.
Oh my god, hi girls. Please come in. I got your chinchilla, so I knew you were coming. Please come in. Do you want to have a seat? Just be careful. The furniture is covered in plastic, just to prevent any imperfections or germs. But you could just slip right off that if you're not careful.
Kia opposite to remain standing.
Vivian sits down, rattling the plastic and making a lot of noise in the process.
You sit down and there's just one long squeaking noise.
Can I offer the two of you some some celery sticks. I made them, special for our first expedition as our neighborhood watch, and they'll help us all grow big and strong. At least that's what I tell my children.
I haven't been able to eat anything, but thanks so much for the offer.
Oh, well, you haven't tried my celery sticks. I very insistently offer them to both.
Kia takes a celery stick and says, well, good for you, Deb. I'm glad to see you eating healthy. I know we talked about that before.
Yeah, well, I have to set a good example for Zog and Glob, or else, they won't grow right, and we can't have that.
Deb, whenever you're ready for the kids to start joining my classes, they've already got spots reserved.
Well, yes, I know you're all about the physical fitness, and I am too, but right now I'm really focused on helping them kind of pass or get good grades. So I've sort of been right now they're at math camp, but maybe at some point, for sure.
Vivian takes a celery stick and breaks it with a very pointed snap.
That's how you know it's fresh.
So anyway.
Right, anyway.
I know we talked about heading over to Captain Harper's house first. Do we think he's home right now?
Captain Harper is a she, actually.
Oh, sorry. Do we think that she's home right now?
I really don't know. Being an underground pirate, I never thought Captain Harper would be a good influence on Zog and Glob, so I've never really spoken to her all that much. So I don't really know what she does every day.
Yeah, actually, sorry. Do we know her? Have we seen her? Like, what's our level of knowledge of her and her routine?
The three of you think back to your previous interactions with Captain Harper. The three of you have only really had passing conversations with her, but she has, at least on one occasion, shown up to one of Kia's classes. From your brief conversations with her, the three of you have been able to sort of deduce that at some point she was a sewer pirate, which is a pretty not totally uncommon, somewhat mythical occupation within the city.
Mythical.
And she usually goes about regaling tales of her times as a pirate.
So she's no longer a pirate. She's a retired pirate.
Yeah.
Okay. So she'll be around. And we know that she's we know that her past is, probably at least somewhat shady.
Yeah, mostly, definitely sort of shady, but also potentially exaggerated. Right?
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
is the vibe that you get sometimes from her.
Mm-hmm.
You know that old Captain Harper. She came to one of my classes once, but those, military types, they like to stick to their strict PT regimens, and she has lots of old tales, but I can't imagine she being anywhere else other than sitting at home.
Yeah, well, I don't need Zog and Glob getting any ideas and getting involved in shady stuff, so I've taken care to not interact with Captain Harper all that much if I could help it.
I hear her profession tends to run with quite a shady group of people. Certainly ones that I wouldn't dare be associated with.
Amen, Vivian.
Well, let's just go see if she's home, and maybe talking to some of these shady types is what we need to be doing right now.
Yes, well, what happened to Nova is nothing if not shady. So I completely agree.
Vivian gets off the couch and rattles all the plastic again.
There's that uncomfortable where it's like skin against plastic. You've been sort of sweating while you're sitting on the plastic, and now it's just you're squeaking off of it.
The second Vivian gets off the plastic, I get out my cleaner spray and spray and wipe down the plastic. This is a very common occurrence. Both Kia and Vivian have seen this before.
We roll our eyes collectively and begin to head towards the door.
Everything needs to be perfect, okay?
The three of you head over to Captain Harper's house. Outside, you see that it's a pretty sturdy 2-story house made of stone and wood. The exterior has sort of like this weathered look to it, and there's just these ropes and nets that dangle over the front porch.
Little on the nose, don't you think, girls?
Absolutely gauche.
Like really just in your face, like, hey, I was a pirate.
Well, everybody needs to be able to express themselves. So if this is how Captain Harper speaks to the world, who are we to judge?
No, I'm going to judge. This is distinctly against the code that we agreed on in the neighborhood beautification committee.
Which team of flower were you on?
I think I was Chrysanthemum, Team Chrysanthemum.
Okay. Deborah, you do notice that she is Team Chrysanthemum.
Well, I can't hate her entirely. At least she has the right idea about what flowers should be displayed prominently in every front yard in our neighborhood.
Vivian has enough self-reflection to know that she probably shouldn't be taking point because her daughter, for the likes of the world, just committed murder. But she can't help herself, so she goes over and knocks on the door.
Nice.
Do we know Captain Harper's first name, or is it just Harper?
It's first name Captain, second name Harper.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Captain to you.
Yeah. The three of you hear some heavy footsteps come up to the door. And then, as it opens, you see Captain Harper, who is rather tall and statuesque human female. She stands at about 5 feet 10 inches and has a pretty strong and athletic build. She is a little bit closer to middle-aged. She has some weathered and sun-kissed skin and the occasional scar here and there. She has a rather square jawline and piercing blue eyes. Do you guys need to hear what her hair looks like?
Well, I didn't before, but now that you mentioned it, I feel like I do.
All right, she has some short cropped hair that is dark brown, and it's just sort of naturally tousled. Like the wind in the sewer blew her hair so often, it's just permanently stuck like that.
That could happen.
Vivian says, "Hello, Captain Harper. I hope we're not interrupting anything, but we just had a few questions about what happened the night before last. Is it okay if we come in?"
Where are they?
Captain Harper says, what does she say? What? Let me try to do the sexiest pirate voice possible.
Oh, I'm ready for it.
Ooh.
Hello, ladies.
Wow.
Wow. I never turned the AC back on.
How are...
Wait, why is this person not part of our group of friends?
you ladies doing today?
Is this going to be all puns?
For our Patreon listeners, an extra $2.55 will unlock 3 hours of Joey's personal Captain Harper ASMR. Only for
Yeah. And he will say your name if you pay extra. We are and doing great. We should side huddle. We should have probably thought out what we were going to say.
Well, our friend was just murdered.
Right.
I think we can just ask questions as if we are concerned about the safety of our community. Because we are.
Right, yes.
Captain
Did you
Harper.
kill Nova? Oh, sorry.
Okay, Captain Harper, you've been to one of my classes before. You know that Deb and Vivi and I are very concerned with the welfare of the neighborhood, and just with the recent death of our friend, our dear departed friend Nova, and some of the other events that have been happening as of late, we've decided to start something of a neighborhood watch committee, just to try to keep a better eye out on the safety of all of our upstanding community members here. And we know that you have a lot of experience here in Mysteria Lane, so we wanted to ask you if you'd seen or heard or experienced anything unusual over the past couple days.
Of course. No, I totally understand. Please do come inside, ladies. She opens the door to allow the three of you in.
We head to Captain Harper's den.
Yeah. As you take a look inside, you see that the decorations in her home are practical and rather utilitarian. It's a very no-nonsense style. As she seats you guys, as she seats you ladies in the main living area, you see that it's adorned with artifacts apparently from her time as an underground pirate. There's ship models, some compasses, and some maps. She heads into the kitchen and she says, "Could I get you ladies some rum?"
Oh my, how bold.
She's already pouring 4 cups.
It's been a while. Joey, how dusty are her baseboards?
Do a perception check.
These are the perception checks that matter. No, that's a 1. All right, 7.
You squint at the floorboards, and then just at that moment, there's like a beam of sunlight that hits, and it just blinds you.
Oh my god, I love what you've done with your windows and your blinds.
Ah, yes. I feel like everybody could use some natural light. You know, having been an underground pirate for so long.
Yeah, you know, I just love the way the natural light in your house just reflects off of every possible surface.
Well, I like to keep a tight ship, if you know what I mean. R.
Oh, we definitely all know what you mean, and Deborah looks very confused.
She sits down and hands each of you guys a teacup filled with rum.
What time is it?
It's rum drinking time.
I'm imagining it's like 10:30 a.m.
Yeah, that's sort of about the time that I imagined, actually.
Deb will pretend to fake sip, or wait, no, she will fake sip her rum, but make it look like she's real sipping.
Vivian takes a swig. She's used to being a little addled on the job, clearly.
Yeah, Deb hasn't drank alcohol since the night her husband mysteriously died. Quote unquote, mysterious.
Kia takes a healthy swig as well.
Vivian and Kia, go ahead and do a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, you get +3 on saves. I remembered this from last time.
That's true.
23.
It's 14.
The rum is sweet, but strong. It burns as the two of you drink it. Kia, you suffer no ill effects. For Vivian, it actually makes you a little bit bolder.
Nice.
So go ahead and take a +1 for the next charisma check.
Nice. Do it right now?
Just bank it.
Okay. Just to know. Okay.
The three of you take a look at Captain Harper. She sort of has like a dour look on her face. Like she's a little bit upset about something. You don't know what. She says, "So how can I help you ladies today?"
Well, you know, we're all deeply upset and grieving over the loss of our dear friend Nova. Rest in peace. And I guess we just wanted to ask, first off, if have you interacted with Nova recently? Did anything seem off? Like, what was your relationship with Nova?
Well, I'm sorry to say, but I wasn't particularly close with Nova. Rest her soul.
Rest her soul.
R. She looks a little bit distracted.
Is everything okay, Captain Harper?
Oh, yes. Sorry. She looks back to the three of you.
Vivian says, I understand that you and Nova weren't particularly close, but we would clearly benefit from your keen insight. Have you noticed anything odd going on right now in the neighborhood? Anything that would give you pause?
Well, you see, there's some movement outside the house that apparently catches her eye, and she sort of stands up rather suddenly to go stand out the window.
Are the blinds open? Can we see what she's looking at?
I scoff.
She's very intently staring at the window.
I murmur, like we were having a conversation.
Sorry, could you, what was the question again?
Have you noticed anything odd? Are you noticing anything right now? I can't help but notice that your attention isn't fully on us and the matter at hand.
Oh, sorry, how about the three of you do an insight check?
All right, let's see how insightful that could be.
I got a nat 20, but I have a -1, so 19.
18.
I got a nat 1 plus 2, so I got 3. I'm just the light hits me again in the eye.
Permanently blinded from sun exposure.
Like, I just love the natural light here.
Kia and Vivian, the two of you notice that there's just like this hot flash of pure, unadulterated jealousy on her face. And then she very quickly composes herself and then sits back down in the living room.
Do we know if she typically lives alone? Is it just her in the house?
Yeah, go ahead and do a history check. a neighborhood history check.
Wow,
Deb
if
is
only
rubbing
I
her
was getting
eyes.
these rolls last time. I got a nat 20 again, 21.
Damn.
What the fuck?
She usually, yes, lives alone.
Does she have any known paramours? Or like, is it like she's a bachelorette living alone in this place?
You have noticed, I guess, you've seen this before, but it never really like occurred to you that much. But Celeste Kensington, who is the daughter of Miss Kensington, has been coming over on a pretty regular basis.
Are we able to see what she's looking at outside?
Yeah, if you guys want to look, you can look real fast.
Sure.
Vivian looks.
All right, everybody roll a perception check.
All right.
I think I get what's going.
I have a non-natural 20.
I got a 4. I'm so annoyed because I think I know what's going on now.
Kia also rolled a nat 1, so not great.
Yeah, Kia and I like how the three of you guys won't be able to piece this together because each person has like separate information. But Kia and Vivian, the two of you guys try to look outside and you guys are hit by that same sunbeam that has been blinding the shit out of Deborah. Deborah, you like tuck and roll and dodge out of the way of the sunbeam
Wait,
and you look outside.
So wait, I just like, from the couch or wherever I'm sitting, I tuck and roll.
Action roll.
Yeah, you roll over to the kitchen window and you look outside and you see Celeste. You see her head over to Professor O'Malley's house. She knocks on the door and heads inside.
Yes, Professor O'Malley. Temptation, addiction, and materialism.
I assume you tumble roll back to the living room.
Yes. Unnoticed to literally everybody else except, I guess, because everybody was blinded.
We're all just dealing with the angry Mario sun that's just magically shifting its position to ensure we're blinded at all times.
So, unbeknownst to everybody else, I tumble roll back to the couch.
Captain Harper collects her thoughts for a moment and she says, "No, I don't believe I've seen anything out of the ordinary." You are sure you are okay? Trying to use her language. She says, "Of course. Why would I not be?"
Right. Of course.
She has like a rather like mildly offended look. As you ask this though, she does get up and grab the rum bottle again to pour Vivian and Kia another teacup of rum.
Oh, I had something I was gonna say.
Oh, can we talk while she's gone and
Yeah,
and share
it can give you-
information? Yeah.
You guys can do like a aside.
Yeah.
Girls, she seems very interested in Celeste Kensington. Did you notice that Celeste was heading over to Professor O'Malley's place? Which was what... I'm like remembering everybody's names. Which is what Harper was looking at when she got all flustered.
I didn't. That light was just so blinding.
Well, it did seem to me like she was pretty jealous or concerned. I really didn't see anything outside, but wasn't Professor O'Malley, wasn't he from your tarot reading? Something about betrayal and lust. I mean, you read us the book. I don't know much about the tarot stuff, but
Oh yes, he was listed as the devil, which is associated with temptation, addiction, and materialism, according to Nova's notes.
Vivian's starting to kind of piece it together a little bit, remembering that Harper's notes were defeat, loss, and betrayal. She says, I'm starting to remember that Celeste did come over here rather a lot. I mean, I do strive to always ascertain the truth and not spread rumors, but is it possible that the two of them may have been linked romantically, and the betrayal that was spoken of wasn't necessarily anything that had to do with Nova at all?
Right. Well, you know, I hate rumors. I hate rumors more than anybody else, but yeah, that seems to be what's going on here. There seems to be some sort of triangle of love going on between Harper, O'Malley, and Celeste.
I just don't get why everyone always gets so jealous over these things. Like, we're all just here to enjoy our time on this world of ours. Just be free.
Yes, men will always let you down.
This is true. They are incompetent and useless.
That's why you just gotta let go of them in whatever way you can. Anyway, so I just don't understand how Charlotte could have gotten mixed up in this.
I don't know either, but we have to get to the bottom of it. And I don't think we necessarily are going to get anything more about this here.
As you say that, Captain Harper returns with another 2 teacups of rum, and then just breaks down.
Oh my.
She says, oh my gosh, ladies, I just don't know what I'm going to do.
What's wrong, Captain?
Oh, it's Celeste. I like her so much, but first she was hanging out with Rob, and now she's going over to Professor O'Malley's place. I just don't know.
Oh, you poor thing. That matey. That just sounds awful, and I give her a hug.
Go ahead and roll a charisma check to see how awkward the hug is.
Right. Where's my charisma?
These real life key skills.
Sounded pretty awkward over there, Mitchell. I don't know.
It's a 10. My favorite number.
It's just average awkward.
Everybody feels very indifferent about it.
You give her a hug. She raises her teacup to cheers you guys while sobbing uncontrollably.
Kia prefers drinking to whatever's happening right now, so she raises her glass as well.
Out of respect, Deb will take an actual sip, but just one sip of the rum.
Vivian raises her glass.
She cheers you guys, and she chugs it.
Oh my.
No one knows.
No one knows what to say. I wouldn't really know how to react to this in real life
we all just like sort of slowly watch as she downs the entire glass of rum in silence.
You know, Harper, I mean, I've never really...
That's Captain Harper.
Right, Captain Harper. You know, Captain Harper, I've never really known what it's like to experience unrequited love because everything's gone pretty smoothly for me, but I understand that you're going through something pretty rough right now, and have you ever told Celeste how you felt?
Oh, yes, I have.
R?
I just couldn't believe that she would betray me like this.
It must be quite a loss, and you must feel so defeated.
Yes, actually. How did you know?
Just my intuition.
Nova rolls around in her grave.
I give her another awkward hug.
She continues, I just don't understand what happened. First, she was hanging out with Rob down the street, and now she's just over at Professor O'Malley's all the time now. Like, I just don't understand.
Maybe she wants somebody with a more stable career.
Captain Harper sobs harder.
All right, everybody else can talk now.
Did the two of you experience a falling out of sorts?
No, of course not. She hasn't been over recently, and I can see her heading over to the professor's. It's really quite unexplainable, actually. I don't know what's going on. R.
Well, Captain, I always say there's no way to get over the harsh feelings of daily life like this than a bit of good old-fashioned exercise. Surely, with your prior career, you would understand.
Yes, of course.
I just, I want you to know that for the Tuesday night class, I'm always there for you. So we hope to see you back there very soon.
Wow.
Yes, of course. Arl? No.
In the meantime, we can just go over and talk to Professor O'Malley and maybe try to see what's going on.
True, it could be a very benign interaction.
Yes, and love triangles and unrequited feelings are just, not good for the peace and security in the neighborhood. And as the ranking member of the Neighborhood Watch and Neighborhood Association, I just can't let that slide. Although, I know that it seems your feelings for Celeste are very, very real, and even though I don't necessarily believe in the sanctity of marriage anymore, I do want the best for you. Don't worry about it. So we'll go talk to Professor O'Malley. That's a promise.
You ladies are the best. I'm so sorry I haven't gotten a chance to get closer with the three of you, or the four of you.
That's okay.
Vivian takes one last sip and says, "We are always here for you."
Yo ho ho.
You guys are so sweet.
This episode has to be titled something like with R.
Are we being annoying?
Yeah. Because it's so awkward, I absentmindedly take more sips of rum.
How about the three of you guys do Constitution saving throws one more time?
Constitution
Everyone
save, and I
gets
get the extra
+3.
bonus. That's good. That is 12. So not so good.
22.
19. We are all functioning alcoholics.
Yeah. As the three of you are taking these teacup-sized shots of rum, we see like a brief montage of
When you spell it out like that.
Kia doing shots after her workouts, Deborah doing shots after sending the kids to school, and Vivian doing shots at work after doing a newscast. Vivian and Deborah, the two of you are unaffected by the alcohol. Vivian, meanwhile, you get another +1 to charisma check that you can bank.
Nice.
For the next 2 charisma rolls, let's say.
Sounds good.
Maybe we should be drug addicts.
It's only benefited so far, so.
Yeah. Well.
About time we be moving on from these parts.
I slapped my knee. Well.
We'll look to get this resolved as soon as possible. We're actually right about to head over there right now. I'm sure this is all just a misunderstanding.
Yes, we'll head over to the devil's nest of temptation, addiction, and materialism. Actually, Harper, I do have one last question.
Yes, what is it?
Now I know this might be sensitive for some of us here, but have you ever interacted at all with Vivian's daughter, Charlotte?
No, I can't say that I have. I do see that the kids like to hang out in Rob's garden.
Wait, what? I was unaware of this.
Yeah, he seems sort of grumpy at first, but once you get to know him, he's actually quite nice. Unlike this Professor O'Malley, who is a son of a bitch.
Right, yeah, the devil himself. Or
R.
Right, well, I'll have to have a talk with this Rob. 'Cause I was unaware of this.
Oh, he's harmless.
He's harmless.
Damn it. Okay. Yeah. Oh, he's harmless.
Of course he is. A grown man who has children over unsupervised to hang out in a garden.
Yeah, that's It's probably fine. He's an old gardener. What could he possibly be up to? I slap my knees again. Well, time we be moseying on out of here, eh, girls?
We'll be back to check in soon.
Yeah. Captain Harper stands up to show the three of you guys out. She's still sobbing uncontrollably, which is actually, it's even more uncomfortable by the fact that she's, how do I put this? Like, it's like seeing someone who would never cry.
I pat her on the back. There.
I'll see you ladies later. It's been so nice having the three of you over.
I pat her on the back. There, and I leave.
Kia leaves an extra business card with the weekly schedule of classes on the back of it, right next to where the like empty rum cups are at. So be sure to find it.
Maybe consider getting some new blinds. Okay, bye.
The three of you head out.
Well, I think that was pretty successful.
Was it? I feel like we're no closer. We just no more gossip.
I mean, that's an achievement in and of itself.
I mean, I have to ask, Vivian, did you know that Charlotte was hanging out at this gardener's house?
Of course not. I mean, that's why I think we should go over there immediately. I just didn't want to spend all that time hearing about her little love affair with Celeste. I mean, my daughter is in prison. Of course, I feel for the woman, but I have my priorities.
Yeah, and love is a sham anyway, so, Joey, what do we know? What is the neighborhood gossip on Celeste? If there's any.
Go ahead and do a history check. Another neighborhood history check.
I didn't think history was
Gossip
going to be
check.
so important
Right.
in this.
Yeah, you did.
This is like the one time the stat has like come up so frequently. That's a nat 20
Woo! All the tea.
plus 0.
How many 20s have we gotten so far?
I've
This
gotten
is the
no
best
nat
I've rolled.
20s.
Yeah, this is the first one I got.
All right. You do know that Celeste is very popular. She, at some point, inherited her mother's love for parties and social events. So she's a pretty regular at any, like, small to large-sized gatherings in the neighborhood. She herself also hosts parties. From what you've seen, she's very good looking.
All right, they're like elves, aren't they?
She's a half elf.
All right.
With the 20, you go a little bit farther. She's pretty charming and witty and outgoing. But beneath all of that, there's sort of this weight that you know that she carries, that there's like the expectations of her families and the pressures of sort of, like being part of this high society.
Right. Very attuned to the gossip around the Kensingtons, because I'm not a huge fan of the Kensingtons. Well, Celeste is Miss Popular. She's always got her parties going on. Either she's at parties or she's hosting parties. And she thinks she's so much better than the rest of us because she's good looking and charming and witty and outgoing. But I know that she seems stressed sometimes. That's what I know about Celeste.
I mean, I don't think that she can be too stressed because Celeste is one of our best, most regular attendees at the yoga workshops for Wednesdays. So, I mean, she's got to keep that fitness up for those good looks, and she's always around.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Certainly sounds like she gets around.
I high five Vivian.
Did you high five yourself in the air, Mitchell?
I clapped, so I guess, yeah.
It's kind of a high five, self.
Yeah.
All right, where do you guys want to go next?
All right, well, it sounds like we have a couple of options, right, ladies? We have Rob, who our kids are just hanging out with without our knowledge. We have Professor O'Malley, and we have Celeste. I guess she's at O'Malley's place.
I mean, maybe it'd be good to go to the professor's place now, since they're both together.
It might be difficult to get people to tell their truth when they're together. They probably won't want to look bad in front of each other. Just a thought.
Well, we could always try to... Not that I'm advocating this, but we could always try to eavesdrop on what's going on over there. This is a matter of neighborhood security, after all. Somebody died.
Great point.
I mean, I'm pretty quiet. I could try to sneak around the back.
I could go around the front, and you could go around the back, and we could see... We could both report what we find.
I wear heavy armor, so
Everywhere I go.
I probably would not be the best, but
Wolf News just gives this out. The heavy armored suits.
yeah, I wear a heavy armored pantsuit.
People don't take too kindly to journalists in this society, so they need the armor for protection. So, how about I sneak over to the front of Professor O'Malley's place and see what I can hear or see from there. Kia, why don't you do the same, but on the back? And Vivian, just hang out somewhere and try not to look suspicious.
Sounds reasonable.
All right, I put my hand out as
For our broken secret handshake.
yeah, I'm like, all right, neighborhood watch, go.
So, in the midst of our kind of hands in for the neighborhood watch, I clutch one of my pearls, and in doing so, kind of pink dust is released and swarms around the group, casting us all in a pink light, and I bless my friends and wish them luck in their eavesdropping endeavors.
As the three of you guys hands in, there's like a sprinkle of pink dust over Kia and Deborah.
Twinkle, twinkle. I feel #blessed. Whatever that means. I go into stealth mode.
Alright, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Stealthy stealth.
Where are you going exactly?
So I'm going to the front of the house, because Wes said he would go around the back.
Okay.
That was a 15.
You sneak up to the front of the house and you peer in through the dining room window. There's no one here. Wes, what do you want to do?
I attempt to go around the back of the house if there's any kind of like garden or trees or hedgerows or something that might better conceal my approach. I try to take advantage of those.
Yeah, also roll a sneak check.
That is a 23.
Yeah. You hide perfectly, and you also peer in one of the windows from the back. On the first floor, you also see nothing. If either of you guys want to listen or perceive further, then go ahead and roll a perception check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably the best course of action for me.
Also, I like to imagine that there's this scene where the three of you are like hands in, hands out, and then like Deborah like tumble rolls away, and then like he also tumble rolls away, and then like jumps like just ninja jumps over like a fence, and then like jumps over another fence and like lands in the backyard.
Yeah, Joey, it's Desperate Housewives.
Yes.
Duh. Let's see, perception. That is an 18.
14 for me.
Kia, you don't really notice anything. Deborah, you notice that there's some sort of thumping around upstairs.
Intriguing. There's some debauchery happening. Some sinfulness.
And then you see Professor O'Malley come downstairs and make himself a cup of coffee.
What is the state of Professor O'Malley?
Given that he was half undressed earlier, he is still half undressed now.
Does he look like winded or anything? Is his hair all messed up?
Is he
Do
sweaty?
an investigate check.
Oh, yes. This is exactly what I was hoping the neighborhood watch would find. Investigation yields a 15.
His hair is mildly tousled.
I continue to watch him, sneakily.
There's a couple of times where he glances out the window in your direction.
I make sure to try to duck out of the way when he does that.
He doesn't really do all that much else. He just sort of makes himself a sandwich and then lounges around.
So it's just him, though.
Yep.
But I'm pretty sure I saw Celeste come over here before.
Yep.
Intriguing. All right. I report back to Vivian.
Tumble roll, tumble roll, tumble roll.
Yeah, I tumble roll back. Well, I think some, shall we say, unsavory activity was happening over there at Professor O'Malley's place.
What do you mean?
Well, I heard some very suspicious thumping noises, and Professor O'Malley came downstairs, and, his hair was all askew. He was half-dressed, but that's not unusual for him. Giving a bad name to our neighborhood, but, looked slightly winded. No sign of Celeste, though.
Odd.
Which sort of lounged around, which, I don't know. It's sort of odd that he would just lounge around, I guess. Well, let's wait to hear from Kia. I'm sure she has seen more.
I'm still just sort of in the back, listening, looking, not really seeing anything. I will just have seeing nothing going on in the house. I'll just have a brief look around the garden.
You take a look around his garden. It's a peaceful oasis filled with exotic plants. There's like a little small pond with a wooden bridge over it that just is like purely decorative, and a greenhouse for apparently botanical experiments.
I'll take a gander inside the greenhouse.
You head inside the greenhouse. You take a look around and you see that it's just rows of plants. It's a pretty small greenhouse. It's not like industrial sized.
Do I notice anything that looks unusual or unnatural, I guess?
Go ahead and do a investigate check.
15.
You take a look around the greenhouse and you see that all of the plants are perfectly grown. There's nothing illegal here or illicit, but it does strike you as sort of peculiar that all these plants are the exact same size and like at full productivity, if that makes sense.
I know Kai, that useless scumbag. If there's one thing he can do right, it's all this bio stuff. They lose so much of every crop, but it's rare to see something like this where everything is grown perfectly. I decide to sneak my way back out of the garden and try to reunite with my compatriots.
Yeah, the three of you meet up.
Kia, what's up?
Well, so I didn't see the professor or Celeste or hear anything, but I felt really at peace in the garden back there, and so I enjoyed spending a bit of time there. I noticed though that the greenhouse that the professor uses, all the plants, they're too perfect. Part of nature's beauty is the diversity and just the differences that we all have, but everything there was it was like a perfect cookie cutter copy of everything else.
So you're saying it looked amazing?
It looked amazing, but also kind of off. Like maybe he knows something that other people don't about growing plants.
Does his research involve plants?
That's true. What kind of professor is Professor O'Malley?
Is he a botanist?
Go ahead and do another
Neighborhood
history check.
We all think about really hard.
Check.
This is basically like a rumor gossip
6,
check.
Yeah.
I also got a 6.
It's another 15 for me.
Deborah and Vivian, the two of you are just like,
I don't know.
oh no. Kia, however, you recall a rather specific passing conversation with Professor O'Malley in which you realize that his specialty is actually magical artifacts.
No, I don't think he has anything to do with botany or plants or stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure Kai would know him better if he did. I think I heard him say he works on magical artifacts or something like that.
Odd that such a hobby would be so well maintained.
That's also odd. I don't think there are a lot of specialists nowadays in magical artifacts, considering that magic is technology. And I wink at the camera.
You're fired.
Get out of here.
Well, didn't Captain Harper say something about Celeste having spent more time with Rob the gardener before she started going over to Professor O'Malley's house? I mean, do we know if the professor and Rob are friends? Maybe he comes over and works on the greenhouse. I don't know.
That's true. Maybe they have some sort of garden conspiracy. And I don't like conspiracies in my neighborhood, I've decided.
I mean, you sure seem to care a lot about those chrysanthemums.
Well, yeah, that was something we all agreed on as part of the Neighborhood Beautification Committee Association, whatever it's called. So I guess our options are either to go to Rob or to talk to Professor O'Malley directly.
Well, we're already here.
That's true.
It also might behoove us to see if Celeste is indeed in the house. I mean, from what it sounds like, neither of you saw her leave, correct?
I didn't see her leave. I saw her enter, and I saw O'Malley come downstairs, but I did not see Celeste come downstairs. So yes, unless she left some other way that I didn't see.
She didn't come out the back while I was there.
Let's go talk to Professor O'Malley, if you agree.
Agreed.
We wouldn't be doing our job as part of the neighborhood watch if we didn't.
That's right.
This job that we created for ourselves.
That we now take very, very seriously.
This is all I care about now. All right. I go knock on the professor's door.
The three of you head over to Professor O'Malley's door.
Ding dong.
And you ring the magical doorbell.
I was going to say, I ring the Magitech doorbell. It's a prestidigitation because doesn't prestidigitation do a noise? I think it does.
Like a faint noise or something like that.
Oh my god.
Faint musical notes.
Oh my god, that's exactly what a doorbell is, so. I press the prestidigitation button on his door, and it's like, ding dong.
The three of you ring Professor O'Malley's doorbell. We see a shot of him suddenly sit up, half naked, from the couch. We see him do the sneak walk to the door to see who is knocking. And he peeps through the peephole, seeing the three of you. How about the three of you do perception checks?
I almost put my dice away. That is a 23.
17.
4.
Vivian and Deborah, the two of you, are able to deduce that he's literally just on the opposite side of the door. He does not answer it and begins to slink away, leaving the three of you guys outside. Hi everyone, this is Joey, your mostly adequate dungeon master. Thanks again for listening to this episode of Adequately Advanced Magic. If you're enjoying our little Desperate Orcish Housewives arc, please do share it with friends and family. It would mean a lot to us. Join us next time as Deb, Vivian, and Kia investigate yet another neighbor.